to some people that will give you a quick explanation and a little presentation. Afterwards, we have a little ceremony which is going to take place actually inside the fence. So we'll invite you inside the fence to get a shot, but we will not be able to drop the coaster until everybody is out. So please, let's get our coverage as quick as we can in there, then we'll get you back out, then we can go ahead and drop the coaster. Now, I was trying to count a few minutes ago. I think this is my 6th roller coaster that I have helped launch, and I can tell you that this is the first time in my career when we've ever had press this close to the coaster to launch. So this is going to be really, really cool. So without any further ado, I will introduce you to our CEO, Mr. Stephen Goodwin.
Thanks, Kerry. Thanks to the weather too. I told the wind to calm down, and it really did. So, well, everyone knows this week was a really, really important week for Hard Rock Park because Led Zeppelin got back together for the first time in 20 years, and I'm really excited because I was one of the lucky people that got to go, so I can reveal the official Led Zeppelin concert T-shirt. So 6 days ago, the guys got back together on the stage, and we're standing here today about to unveil the first public outing of Led Zeppelin The Ride. 20 million people applied for 20,000 seats at the Led Zeppelin concert. People from all over the world came to London on Monday night just to hear the guys play their set. We're really, really happy that we can handle 3 million Led Zeppelin fans a year on this ride, which means over the next 20 years, people will be coming to rock out to Led Zeppelin 60 million times. All those numbers are worthy of the greatest rock band ever to grace the face of the earth. And to tell you more about Led Zeppelin The Ride, it's Chief Brainiac, our Chief Creative Officer, Mr. John Benkowski.
Thank you, Stephen. We're gathered here today, basically, in my opinion, to witness a kinetic piece of art. It is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And what's wild is that what we did, the designers, and a lot of them are here, Bill Cunningham and so forth, we worked on twisting metal, basically, so that people can ride to the music of Led Zeppelin. And that's no, easy feat. Took a lot of design, a lot of challenges there. The other big challenge that I wanted to let you know is that when we approached the band, and it did take Stephen and myself about 3 years to get them to come around, but we did get to go to London and see the concert. So we said we would like to use a piece of your music for this coaster with onboard audio that will be the best in the world. And they said, great, we'd like you to do the entire song. And we went, well, the coaster takes about 90 seconds to go through the thing, and your songs are usually 5 minutes to 20 minutes long. And they said, great, we'd like you to do it to the entire song. And we went, yeah, of course, absolutely. And so Stephen and I were in the meeting and said, absolutely, it shall be done. We walked out into the hallway and went, okay, now what are we going to do? So what we decided to do was actually create an experience that happens from the queue line all the way through to the end of the ride. And what happens is, first, it is 2 stories of queue. You go inside, in the bottom of the queue area, you'll be seeing some classic Led Zeppelin videos, and seeing some trivia, and also a couple of other surprises down there. And then, when you ramp up to the 2nd level, you'll actually be positioned right underneath the coaster. This is as close as anyone can get at this time, but once you're queuing, you'll actually be underneath it, and you'll see the coaster go to one side of you and then the other. And I don't know of any queue that does that. Then you'll be up top, and to create a 5.5 minute long experience of Whole Lotta Love, what we decided to do was start you off actually in air-conditioned comfort in a theater, 32 passengers all in a row, watching the first about 3.5 minutes of video associated with Whole Lotta Love. And then seamlessly, when you step out into the loading platform, which is actually a giant Zeppelin that you go into, you will be carried with the music. And then seamlessly, you will be carried onto the ride with the onboard audio which will take over from there, and you will be engulfed with the sounds of Led Zeppelin as you basically experience what Stephen and I had the pleasure of experiencing in London, which is basically the adrenaline rush of a Led Zeppelin concert. And I'll tell you, it's going to be awesome. So, let me give you some technical points real quick. Some of these are in your packets, but it's kind of interesting. There's 3,738 feet of linear track. It's 155 feet high. That's about 13 inches below the FAA envelope. This weighs, I picked it up, and it weighs 1.2 million pounds. Each coaster weighs about 25,000 pounds with people on board, 32 passengers. That would make it about 32,000 pounds. The maximum speed is 64.3 miles per hour, and it hits right there in that dip, that first dip. That's when it hits the 64.3. Am I correct, David Ritterer?
You're correct.
I'm correct, okay. The onboard audio will be actually done with some special equipment to make it the best in the world. And we will have on this particular launch what we call water dummies. And they're pretty fascinating, actually. They're big jugs that are kind of shaped like a person's seating that represents a human. So you'll see there'll be bodies on there, just not human bodies. And they're filled with water, and they weigh approximately 170 pounds each. Anyway, the last thing I wanted to say before we do a traditional ceremonial thing that we do here at Hard Rock is I wanted to point out that there are about, over 10,000 bolts to put this thing together. You see where the track is connected? You see the little, they're not little, they're about this big, bolts that put them together. There's those, and then there's some big guys down there, over 10,000 of them. And there were some companies that were involved in this that we would like to celebrate and thank for pulling this off, because they worked tirelessly and they really did a great job. Later on, Russ Dagan, David Ritterer, and the development team will be presenting these to each one of the companies. But I wanted to kind of show this to you because this is something that is pretty cool. We made for them. First of all, we wanted to acknowledge my hand's in the way there. The Mosley Erecting Company, they had guys scaling up there, putting this thing together. Hensel Phelps, our general contractor. Cape Romaine, who put the piles in the water. Remember, this ride, a lot of it happens over the water. Hayward Baker, who put the pilings in the land. Melton Electric, providing the power. PSI testing, we tested all the materials, the torque, the welds, all of it. And of course, B&M, or Bollinger and Malabard, who is the ride manufacturer. And every one of those companies deserves this. This is our thank you to them. And we really appreciate the excellent job they did. And as Stephen said earlier, that when the last piece went in, it was just like a glove fitting in. So these are the best of the best in the business. With that, to them. There are some of their representatives here today, and thank you for coming. With that, what we're going to do is something traditional when you launch something. Normally, if it's a big ship, you do a champagne. But we're Hard Rock, and of course we don't do that. We don't break champagne. We smash guitars. That's right. So what we're going to do is Stephen Goodwin, our CEO, is going to do the ceremonial guitar smash. And we would like to invite you to come over here, and photographers get first precedence, of course, to position yourselves to be able to get this. Because he's just doing
down
it
against
once.
the fence line to shoot this way.